What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sam the Beard Guy channel. So today we are checking out Claire again. So I checked out Claire back when it came out, which was, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months ago, sometime last year. And I loved everything about it, but I had one complaint, which was the release times on some of the samples. That has now been fixed. So my only gripe with the whole thing was the release times of the samples, and now they fixed it. They reached out to me a few weeks ago, asked me to kind of take a look at it beforehand, which is cool, and I think a good mark of a company is they listen to the feedback. They said they had gotten that feedback from other people as well, and so they have now fixed the release time problem or issue, and so now this piano, to me, objectively speaking, there's nothing wrong with it. The only reason you wouldn't want to use it is if it's just not your flavor, but there's nothing actually tangibly wrong with the experience other than you might just not like it. But there's nothing wrong. I can keep just saying that over and over and over again, but I'm not going to. They also tweaked some of the half pedal settings. If you use any half pedal stuff where you can change some of the threshold settings on the pedal. My half pedal has been broken for like a year, and I haven't fixed it yet because I just frankly haven't needed a half pedal in a while. Maybe you judge me for that. So I don't want to, go through every single preset that exists, but I kind of just want to play through some of these things again and then just talk about some of the features. So release sample. But I remember when I did this, the releases were way past. It was wild to me. Let's go to basic Claire just to make sure. So it feels great. I mean, here's like... That's kind of closer to what it felt like. I just remember going like, there's no way this is what it is. And I kind of chalked it up to maybe it was trying to simulate some type of realistic thing, but it wasn't unusable because I just came in here and changed it. But now out of the box, it's kind of the way I think it should be. And you're kind of making the assumption that people that maybe wouldn't know to change that now don't have to worry about changing it. So, overtones. So here's some of the features that I would use a ton. Pedal. I love pedal stuff, it's a problem. Yeah. I feel like those are labeled backwards. You know? But maybe not. I don't know. That felt weird to me. But I could be wrong. I have like a pre-release version, so I'm gonna kind of chalk it up to that. So that's kind of the main piano thing, and then inside of here you have a lot of different kind of customability on some more effects. Like if I wanted to split the EQ up between the close and the mid mic, I can change that, which I think is really cool, and change the frequency cutoff. There's just so much flexibility here. The one thing this doesn't have that Noir has, which is somewhat solved maybe with richness and sub here, but in Noir there's like 3 EQ kind of spectrums, and then there's 3 options in each spectrum you can swap out. So you'd have like a sub, a low end, or something. Why do I keep clicking that? Or here it's not, I don't know, I don't want to say not as customizable. It's just different. So you can do like body, and kind of low mids, kind of high mids, kind of highs, and then air. So yeah, that makes total sense. Let me level these out. Then if you wanted to do cutoff, you can. Transient. You got the compressor. You know, I don't use a ton of compressors in here unless I'm selling presets, which I did do for Noir recently. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. Saturation. Again, a lot of these settings, I say the same thing in every video. I don't use a ton of these in the box unless I'm selling a preset, then I would maybe do that. But I am not using them in here. But, I mean, they're great settings, I guess, if you want to use them. Stereo image. You know, another example of something I probably don't use in a box. Style. Now, I would use this feature. You know, if I remember correctly in Noir, one of my biggest complaints is some of these style things, there's just not enough flexibility. It's kind of just forcing you. Let me just like confirm that before I'm tripping out here. Let me just double check, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know, so like if I wanted to do like this style and moving, yeah, this is what I'm gonna comment on that I like. So if I did style moving and I wanted to do like dusty funk, I have no mix knob for this. It's just I now have dusty funk moving, sound. But so if I go back into FX style, I go to moving and I select tremolo, I can set the amount, which is such a win for me, you know, because you couldn't do that. So 100% wet, you know, 10%. That to me is a game changer, just being able to do that, which I don't think I mentioned in the last video because I'd forgotten about that. But now I've used a ton of Noir last week for some stuff, and I kind of bumped into that limitation where it's like I can't really use the style the way that I want to because of this reason. So now I don't have to worry about that if I use this more, which I do want to use more. So ambience, noise, kind of the same, you know, it's just stuff. I love how it's a silent room noise setting. Like there's a noise in a silence room, kind of seems redundant or an oxymoron. You know, this is like just piano bench kind of squeaky stuff. Then you get into the particles. So I don't know how people do that. That's one gripe that I have. I'm gonna say one negative thing. This is this right here. So I don't like that I have to select the X or the check mark. I don't like that feature for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why I wanna, like, why. It's like, it seems not the way any other library works. This is far from a game. This does not matter. But it's like, if I select that and I hit X, I want it to assume that I want to get out of this menu and keep working on this setting, not that I want to cancel that setting. I'd rather there be an X here just to get out of the window and then like a redo button or something. Because if I went to dark pad, I'm like, ooh, I love that sound. It's going back to damp sequence. So I don't know. It makes sense, but also I feel like I'm so used to the workflow of most other plugins where that's not how you do it. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm wrong. So there's just tons of options in here that I like. I don't even have time to get in all of them, but I mean, you know, one thing I wish, again, I'm being nitpicky. I wish in here there was just like a feature of the particle engine does not hit notes below C3 or C4 or something like that. Because that would, I think, would take this thing to the next level, is having that feature. It's just like in Mainstage or Ableton, as you set ranges, or on a Nord, you set ranges. So you don't have to have like... And I guess that's what that's doing. I'm kind of having a guess, like... I don't know. Yeah, I wish I could just do a hard cutoff. I mean, that's not a deal breaker, but that's kind of how I feel in this moment. And then reverb. Yeah, I think... Yeah, here we go. I really hadn't been digging into some of these reverb settings. So I have this whole thing where I don't like reverbs in the plugin because I like my own reverbs. But what I'm starting to challenge myself is some of these reverbs that are like some of the more unique ones are really cool. So these Mystique ones, even the piano. It's a little dramatic, but the Mystique specifically is so cool. There's just... even in the delay stuff, you know, I really didn't like look at this stuff a ton because I'm just, you know, the same old kind of hard-headed, like, I'm going to use my own delay, but I'm realizing, like, that's cool. There's tons of fun stuff in here. Oh, here's the pedal settings that I couldn't find earlier. So yeah, if you want to work on some half pedal or repedal settings, I think this is a new addition, my understanding. So that is Claire. I mean, look, I love this piano. I think now that I have this update, I really want to use this more. There's some really cool stuff in here. I think it's a little bit more fine-tuned than the Noir on just some of these settings in here. But there's such great pianos. I really don't think, you know, either one of them is any better. It's just, they're just slightly different, and I think they're kind of playing to the strengths of the piano itself. You know, the Noir is the C7, I think. I forget what the Claire is. But I think that maybe the settings are kind of just playing to the piano itself. I don't know. I mean, the Noir has a felt option. So I don't know. I mean, they're both, like I said in the last video, they're both worth having. They both have slightly different niches, or niches, depending on, you know, how you say that. But they're both great. If you can have both, definitely have both. I might lean a little bit towards Noir if you can only have one. But this is a solid supplemental supplemental piano that maybe helps you make supplemental income to Noir, and among all the other libraries out there. I love all the Galaxy Instrument and Native Instrument kind of world. You know, this like Gentleman Grandeur, I use those all the time. You know, I've been using those forever. I love pianos, you know, this kind of thing. So anyways, thank y'all for watching. Go check this update out. I'll see you later.